What's going on, everybody? This is AntKnowsWebl, and welcome to my channel. Matter of fact, today I just want to say thank you very much, because this is actually my first video that I'm going to review, and my first game I'm doing, matter of fact. I know I kind of messed that up, but hey, whatever. We're going to keep going. And we're going to review Crackdown 3. So, guys, here we go. Crackdown 3 is one of those games that, it's been in development purgatory for many years. Be honest with you, the first time we interacted with the game was around 2014 at E3. And since then, it's been continually stated to receive delay after delay after delay. Now, excuse me, I'm sorry. Sorry about that. And those happened like multiple times, from the point where people were unsure if the game would come out at all. And let's be honest with you, I'm kind of glad it did, but I'm not sure I'm glad I did. And I'll explain by some of the things I saw in the game, and based on some of the gameplay, you guys are going to see why I'm talking about it. You know, the real question we want to know, since it took so long to come out, 2014 was the first time we saw it. The gameplay of it and just anything dealing with it was so long ago. People first off want to know, will it ever come out? And if it did come out, how would it fare now it's out that people can play? Now, I'm going to be honest with you. The price tag on it, for my taste, is like roughly $60 with taxes and all that stuff. I got it on Xbox Game Pass, so basically I probably paid comparatively maybe a couple bucks a month for that one game. Normally, I would suggest, if you're on the Xbox One and you don't have Xbox Game Pass, and I'm not endorsed by these guys or anything, just try it out. Most people who tried it out for the first time, Xbox Game Pass that is, can pay like maybe $1 for the first month and then $9.99 the following month after it, or $10.99. I'm not sure. I got to check on that. One or the other. I might be $1 off, but I think it's pretty good. That is actually good. It allows you to try out games. If you don't like them, you can uninstall them or keep going with it. This gives me the ability and the freedom to play a game and not feel too bad about it and feel like I wasted any money. And if I did enjoy the game, I got a good deal for it. So, okay, so here we go. As we know, Crackdown has two modes, which is kind of odd to me, because they are downloaded separately, but you download them at the same time. One is called the Wrecking Zone, which is the multiplayer. I'll talk about that one later. But it also had the campaign mode. Now, the storyline, as we know with all Crackdown games, and as well as this game in Crackdown 3, is designed to be simple and fun. Basically, you shoot things, you run up, you jump, you run and you jump on buildings, you get orbs, you throw bombs, you throw cars, all that good stuff, which is fun. There's explosions. They have the the same voice actor. I think his name is Director Goodwin or Godwin or whatever. And he's like, "Hey, get those orbs, Agent," all that stuff. He's still in there, so that's pretty cool. And you get to do it again and again. And also, one thing about it, you get to boost your characters. I think you got like, I don't even know. I think you got like 12, 16, 15 different characters, 10. I don't know. But you have more than just one agent you could choose. As the first couple games, you maybe had like 3 or 4 people you could choose from, I believe. Don't quote me on this. I know there might be comments to say, well, first off, there's many more guys in there than that. You're wrong. No, we're not worried about that. We just understand that you could choose from a plethora of different characters, and you can level them up all the same. I decided to stay with the main antagonist that they used. The guy that's modeled after Terry Crews, Agent. I said detective, Agent Jackson. And he did his voice, and there's a lot of mocap. He also did a lot of mocap for the main character, and it's easy to see right off the bat. You know it's him. He looks kind of skinny in the first level, kind of emaciated, but hey, I don't have any problem with that, because we know, if you played Crackdown before, you build up your character, and as you build up by getting agility orbs, strength orbs, you open up new abilities, and the actual physical appearance of them and the physical abilities change as well. From their aim, being able to aim with greater accuracy, meaning that you had to use less bullets, which really don't matter, because as soon as you kill somebody, bullets pop anywhere. But hey, but it does have a unique style to it. They still use that kind of shaded technology and everything. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I like it. It's not bad. It's a fun game to play. Is it a game of the year? Was it really the game that we deserved for this wait? I'm gonna be honest with you. No, I just can't understand why a game like this took so long to play, to be made. I'm sorry, to be made. I understand that the business of games, you have different studios building games. You got deadlines and budgets, and they did overpromise on the Wrecking Zone part, where they were basically saying they were going to use the cloud to generate a world that's kind of self-containing, and it will always build and all this everything could build up and stuff. And the problem is that they didn't deliver on that promise. But I think if they were honest enough to just say, hey, guys, we're going to have to scale back because we really want to get this game out. Because I truly believe that the campaign was probably done a very long time ago. To be honest with you, I think the only reason why they announced Terry Crews as the voice talent is because they had the game done. But they were trying to get the Wrecking Zone part of it, the multiplayer part of it done. And they just couldn't do it. The technology either wasn't there, they maybe didn't have the resources, as in like computing power with their game console, or the company itself just couldn't do it because there were so many bugs, and it might have crashed the game more than once. Maybe that's the only thing I could think of it. But enough about my opinion of this. Let me just get back to what the campaign was about. As we all know, Crackdown is based around the different agents. They're basically like a police force, like a high-tech FBI or high-tech marshals or whatever of that nature. And it's based on going to this city or a megacorp city named Terra Nova. And basically, it became a world power after all the power in the world, other worlds, were basically taken out. And it was taken out by this chemical source named Chimera. Now, I don't know what Chimera really is, but I'm guessing Chimera is basically like hyper radioactive chemicals that are within this area that they created or manufactured or mined and refined and manufactured. It's basically the energy source of the world now. And as you'll see in the beginning of the game, there's going to be a cutscene that shows Terry Crews' character, Action Jackson, in full yoked up, muscular on swole mode, get barking out orders to his fellow agents, and you kind of see all the agents you can actually, most of the agents, I think all of the agents you can actually play with. And he's giving out orders, and the next thing you know, the ship starts to shake. There starts to be an explosion. They start to hear things. They check on the screen, and next thing you know, they see a green wave flash across their ship, and it blows up the whole ship. Not only does it blow up the ship, it pretty much kills every agent and burns them to a crisp, which was something I didn't expect. I was really surprised by that. I was like, "Whoa, this dude was talking. Terry Crews was talking a lot of noise, and now he's burnt up to a crisp. So what type of game is this again?" Then we see another scene where a lady, I can't even. Oh God, I can't even think her name. I'm not cutting this. I'm just gonna keep going. Another lady by whatever. She's like the lady that's gonna help him. The agent, sleeper agent, whatever, that's gonna help him. And she's gonna take his DNA remains, and over a period of years, she's gonna rebuild his body genetically to where he can actually go out and avenge the people who are being harmed in Terra Nova. So, as you play it, one of the things you can do, one of the things I like about the game, you can actually honestly, what I like about the game is the same thing I liked about the first one and the second one. You can jump around, you can get orbs, you can shoot. If you want to, you can go to the final boss and fight. The problem is you're going to have a problem getting there because certain areas, as your agility orbs, as you get more agility and your agility orbs allow you to jump more, you're able to do more, jump higher, fight stronger enemies, shoot from a greater distance, steal certain cars, steal enemy cars, lift up vehicles and throw them. So it would actually be best if you go and kind of get orbs from certain areas that are less dangerous. If you even look on the map in the game and you look at the map of the different enemies, it will actually give you information like a percentage of your chance of survival or success against said characters. My suggestion is go through maybe the first couple areas that you can get to the easiest and build up, and then take more chances. So that's something that I would definitely do. It makes sense to do it that way. But if you want to go against the main person, you can. And the way it's set up like a tiered system where you are going to kill in certain areas different generals for certain areas. And once you go after the generals for the certain area, you go after the main area, like main antagonists for those districts. Once you go against the main district antagonist for that district, a certain aspect of Terra Nova, which makes it very strong, is critically weakened. And because it's critically weakened, it actually weakens the main boss as well as strengthen you. So that's kind of unique. I kind of like that as well. One thing I will say, as we all know with the Crackdown games, as you get more agility orbs, as you get more just greater weapon choices, you will be able to basically travel and fight without many extra weapons. I know when I played with the pulse beam, the phaeton shotgun. I think that's what it's called. And I used the graviton grenade. Now the graviton grenade is one of my personal favorites. The graviton grenade is basically a grenade that you could throw into a crowd of enemies, and it sucks up all the enemies, the vehicles surrounding it. If they have tanks, all that good stuff, if it's mechs that you can go against, they suck them up into a ball like a mini black hole, and as they get sucked up, they explode, and it basically kills the majority, if not all, of the enemies in that area. It's actually one of the best things of the game for me. Just massive mayhem. Um, Also, you get choice of vehicles. As you drive more, you do stunt, where you can drive through stunt rings and things of that nature. Similar, they're almost like driving orbs, but they're really like driving rings. You get different vehicles. You get a vehicle that's like a sports car to start with. It's really pretty fast. Then you get a vehicle that's kind of like a four-wheel ATV type vehicle. You could drive up buildings and things of that nature. I like it. It is pretty cool. And I you know I think it's just something you should check out. But let me get back to it. Now with this corp named Terra Nova, most of it's captured, like I said, most of the world power, and it's set to control the world and do just bad things. I guess evil people do evil stuff, right? And it's your focus here, and it's your focus in the game to stop all the different individuals from controlling the world. And it's the only thing you could do. The only thing you actually could do is complete a variety of tasks and challenges. A lot of those tasks include things like you got to rescue different militia members who they captured in little lockups. You got to destroy vehicle areas where they keep their armored vehicles at. Which some of those missions were pretty good. I actually liked them because it wasn't just run in and destroy stuff. You had to run in, turn off a power source to even get to the things you can destroy. And the power source is set up by like glowing cables where you had to go to different parts of that area, and they were not necessarily hidden, but they were in places you didn't expect. I know there were certain times I was playing, and I was just shooting stuff, and the enemies keep coming because you have a little three-tiered, I guess you would say a wanted level, and when you get to level 3, they basically lock down the board. You're not allowed to get certain weapons from certain access points. Oh yeah, my bad. There's something else they have. They have like supply points, and supply points are in different parts of the game. If you get to a supply point, you can go and fast travel to that supply point anywhere on the map if you can get to it. So there's just something to think about too. And I do like that. That allows you, because let's be honest, fast travel is a good thing. I hate games that don't have fast travel. It just does not make any sense. It's just such a waste of time, But that's neither here nor there. Now, personally speaking, for Crackdown, if you looked at my thumbnail, it basically points a question. It says, I'm sorry, worth the wait? Question mark. I'm gonna be honest with you. No, it wasn't worth the wait. I wasn't really like, oh my god, Crackdown's coming out. I gotta get it. I gotta get Xbox Game Pass, or I gotta like take $60 to do this and this. No, no. I would have been upset if I would have spent my money, and I was excited about this game. But with that being said, I found myself playing this game a lot. I put in over 30 hours in the game, and it was and I like it because it was just simple. You could turn the game on, loading screen, choose your player, and all of a sudden, you just spent like an hour or two jumping from building to building, collecting orbs. Or you collect the orbs and you jump from building to building and you shoot people with rockets. Or you just jump down and you do a ground stomp or a fist stomp into the ground and blow up like 8 to 10 cars at the same time. It's kind of fun. Why? Because, hey, that's what made Crackdown fun. Nothing like shooting a rocket at a bunch of enemies and you have this massive chain explosion. Oh man, it feels good. And then when you shoot the guys, all the orbs you're absorbing all the orbs. And then when you level up, you get bigger. You can literally see yourself get bigger and get stronger. Those things that were still good in Crackdown and fun was fun here. Is it the worst game ever? No. Is it a game that would disappoint you if you were so excited about it? Yeah. If this game would have came out, say, we first heard about it in E3 about like 2014. So say if this game first came out, maybe in 2016, and it was just like this, I would be mad. But now, if you add another 3 years from the 2016 date, where I honestly think the game should have came out in, I wouldn't have been disappointed. I wouldn't have been disappointed because I didn't care or have any expectations of this game. So, you know what? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give a couple more facts about the game, a couple more information, just a couple more thoughts, and I actually wrote some of this stuff down, but I kind of realized something. I really don't feel like talking about it because it's just a game you could just shut up and play the game. The story isn't really great. You know, matter of fact, let me talk about this. Now, while there is cutscenes in the game, they honestly don't matter. From the first cutscene in the game, it looks really good. I like how they did that. But every other cutscene was just kind of like something like an animated comic, motion comic. I have no problem with it, but the story really isn't intriguing. It it's just not. It's like, oh, I'm not surprised. I'm not intrigued. A lot of times I was trying to skip the story when I can. Also, there's certain things you could jump on certain buildings and certain platforms where you can hack audio of the story with what's going on. But to be honest with you, you're only hacking those things because you can get orbs. It's not really good. And it's just, if you're one of those guys that play games and kind of obsessive, compulsive, OCD or whatever, and you have to complete everything on the game, it's just, it's just, it's almost like I say, I don't know. And as you can tell, I'm really struggling to be excited about it. Not because I hate the game, it's because the game isn't 100% exciting. The things that make it fun is just this. It's just, it's almost like, I can imagine people who are fans of Madden, who play Madden every year, and they're like, oh man, this is great when you first play it. Maybe the first month, maybe the first couple months or whatever. But then you realize, it's like, man, they haven't changed the playbook yet. They haven't done this yet. They haven't did this. You know, the character creation is not that good. They're not even adding the stuff we want. Okay, yeah, we can add uniforms here, but we can't add tattoos. We can't really they don't have a face cam feature here. Why I gotta look like everybody else? Well, this part is good. You know, that part is not. This is the same, and I didn't care. Is really gonna be a milquetoast feeling for this game. So, you know, I just think that, as you see, I'm at a loss for words. I had a script for everything, but I'm gonna be honest with you. I just really try to figure it out. But I will say this. Let me add this though. I'm gonna be honest. This is gonna be a kind of long one because I'm just explaining the whole game. There are certain areas that deal with the infrastructure of the game. If you're trying to, my suggestion is you do play this game. Strategically go through the different areas. Destroy the logistic arm, the monorail stations, those things. Because what would happen if you just don't destroy all this stuff and try to go straight to the main generals outside of anything? You're gonna die. Matter of fact, you won't have access to those main generals or main leaders of that district anyway until you go through those generals. So my suggestion is to go through the different missions, go through the different things in a certain order that's kind of systematic. Don't try to overachieve because it's gonna be not impossible, but it won't be easy. And by default, you're gonna kind of run into people that enemies and adversaries on the game and mini bosses that kind of spawn up anyway that you'll have to deal with by default. So you're gonna get stronger kind of by default. It would be much easier to do if you just, at the very least, get as many agility orbs as you can. Because at the very least, you can at least get to some of these different platforms or some of these buildings, which is actually one of the fun parts of the game. There's nothing like platforming on Crackdown. That would made it very nice. You can climb, jump on a building, jump on a ledge, double jump. If you get enough orbs, you can actually triple jump, and you can do a triple jump, a double dash. Maybe no. Wait a minute. Maybe a triple dash. Maybe let's just say double dash. And you could do a dash punch, and you could slam it to the ground almost in simultaneous motions. It allows you to really travel really far, and it actually kind of negates the fact that you need a car. Better yet, maybe you could pick up a car and do all those dashes as well, and then throw the car as a bomb, like a makeshift bomb. And it's just one of the things, part of the game that you'll like. I know I like that. It's very simply. Um, I will say this. As far as the gameplay, as I've been saying, it is, once again, just really focused on blowing stuff up, seeing lots of explosions, making a huge impact on the enemy base, and that's basically it. But the problem there is you have to rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, which is a bit too much as you go by. That makes it very hard for me to play it for a very long time. Normally, when I was playing it, I play it for like an hour or two. Sometimes you do get lost in the time if you like looking for orbs, and sometimes depending on the area you're in, you can actually see orbs from different buildings, and you just say, "Hey, I'm gonna get all the orbs in this area. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get all the orbs." And also, another thing you can do is not only get agility orbs and ability orbs. You can also get orbs of your fellow agent's DNA. Once you get those orbs, you can get to unlock their character. Here's the drawback. If you get that character and you play with that character, they're starting from the beginning. So you can't take your stats and transfer it to that character. Which I kind of understand why they did it, but when I started finding orbs, and I really wanted to play with some other people, because they have different attribute bonuses, percentage wise. Some people are better drivers, so if you're in the car, it doesn't slide as much. And oh yeah, I'm glad I said that. The driving is terrible in this game. When I mean terrible, it's like Watch Dogs terrible. Not Watch Dogs 2, but Watch Dogs. The first Watch Dogs, it was like you're driving on ice no matter what. That's why you would actually really prefer to jump around and jump from building to building, or just jump in the air and dash, period, when you get your agility orbs up. It's bad. It's not fun to drive. It's really not. Matter of fact, while I'm playing the game, I got a lot of agility orbs. I'm almost maxed out. I'm maxed out on strength. I'm maxed out on firearms. But I'm only on the second level of my driving. And I don't care. I can pick up a tank, an enemy tank, and throw it, but I can't steal the enemy tank because you have to level that up. I just don't care. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to blow it up anyway. Um, but yeah, I'm sorry. I was ranting. My bad. Um, as you know, I mentioned before, the gameplay is just designed to just do the same thing over and over. And it is really a lot. and there's no variation in it. There's no variation between the missions. This game, if it was, I will say, Crackdown 2, and it came out during that time, it would be great. It would be excellent. This would be an excellent game. I think they were banking on Terry Crews, you know, being the star of the game. And let's be honest with you, he does good voice acting. He's a good actor. And there's certain things that were going on outside of him being an entertainer. But hey, as far as the game, and I'm not going to speak on that, he did a good job. I mean, there's certain things in the game that's very funny. There's like a billboard where there's like a billboard somewhere where he's doing typical Terry Crews things where he's looking really tense, but then he makes a really goofy face. I don't know exactly where they said on the map, but I did record it, so I think I will put it in there. Maybe in the beginning of the game or the end of the video. But I just think they're gonna be. Hmm. I I'm really at a loss of words. I know I played 30 hours of the game, but I really think that you could actually beat this campaign in 10, maybe 15 hours at the most. 8, 8 at the quickest, because you really don't have to do that much. You just attack, the different bases. You're going to get stronger. You're going to have the ability to jump. And then you beat the individuals who are head of the district, leading up all the way to the main antagonist, which is interesting. It's a pretty good fight. It's a pretty good fight. The fights are good. The gunfights are good. They're not bad by any means. It's just the game took so long to come out. It's just it kind of waters it down. The gameplay is really good. If you like Crackdown, period, you would love the actual gameplay of the game. But the game structure is the problem. There, and other games really do well with this. We can think of Grand Theft Auto. Some people say Red Dead is really good at that. I'm surprisingly one of the people that's not like in love with Red Dead, but I don't hate it. It's definitely not the first Red Dead. I tell you that. It's really, 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 really great as far as gameplay, but not so great as game structure. I mean, everything is basically the same. Everything is really similar to the first two Crackdown. The story is not so good. I think you would think with that much time that they stalled, that would be the one thing that they would really improve. It actually would have helped the opinion of the game now, since you have to wait basically 5 years plus to play this game, and it's probably been in development. Like, oh my god, I think it's been in development almost 8 years. So, so I'm kind of lost for words as far as the gameplay. So I'm gonna stop talking about it. I will say this: I do like it when I leveled up all the way to my final form as far as strength. Got all my strength orbs, my close to my agility orbs. I basically just had graviton grenades and was punching people. And when you hit people, you have like this little wave that goes around, little energy wave around your fist, and they're called boom fist. I think they're kind of like, hey, we're gonna call it boom fist because Terry Crews was really close to becoming the voice of Doomfist of Overwatch, and I think it was their suggestion. I think they were being a little cheeky, tongue in cheek, but it's cool because you could actually blow up cars and tanks with a nice little 3-hit combo, pretty much, or a good ground pound or fist stomp or fist pound or whatever into the ground. I will say the boss fights really are good. They are the actual highlights. The mini bosses, the mid-level bosses, the district bosses, and the main boss. These are the highlights of the game. I will say that is very fun. And it is not just simple run up to a person, jump to a platform. These guys, you have to shoot, you have to shoot. They're going to have all their they're going to basically have mid bosses shooting you. Certain areas have turrets shooting at you. You gotta have large little minions. It's a lot of action, a lot of chaos. You just can't stand there and shoot. You gotta move. You gotta be mobile. You gotta basically be an agent, and that's what makes the game fun in that aspect because you really have to do a lot of stuff. If you put it on hard, you may not like it because everybody's swarming you, even if it's on easy. But if you play it on hard with like on co-op, which is something it has, I'm sorry I didn't even say that, but that makes it really fun if you play with somebody else because there's going to be so much action and you're going to destroy people, and that is the fun part of it. Like I said, it's really a game that really it's really perplexing. It's almost like, man, why did this game really become good? I think Xbox was banking on this game to be great. They were banking on this game at least to be highly playable. I think people who have the Xbox Game Pass is enjoying the game because they know they didn't have to spend a lot of money for it, or they beat the game, enjoyed it for what it was, and they left it alone. This is one of those games that, hey, I'm not gonna play this game, and there's other big games coming out like the Division, Anthem. I know what people are saying about Anthem, but I played Anthem, and it's not a bad game. It's just not a perfect game. And I think it's easy for people on YouTube now to actually hate on games because they want views and they're just being cancerous. Sometimes an objective review is a good thing, or your objective commentary about a game is a good thing. But enough with that. I'm ranting. Matter of fact, I'm probably ranting and babbling, to be honest with you. Now, one thing I will say, like I was talking about the different way to progress and level up in the game, you just basically go through Crackdown and do Crackdown things. You shoot things, you blow up stuff, you punch things, you pick up vehicles and throw them, and you get orbs from that. As you do more of certain things, like for example, if you use a particular gun, you're going to have the ability to level up. If you use a rocket, you also have explosive and firearm skill traits when you blow up certain things. If you shoot somebody or shoot a vehicle with a regular gun and make it blow up, you're going to get a majority of orbs coming to you that deals with firearms, but you're also going to get some orbs that dealing with explosives. That way you won't have an issue. Say if you melee and punch a vehicle and it explodes, you're going to get a majority of orbs that deal with I'm sorry, that actually deals with not only melee but also deal with explosives. So it's pretty good. I do like that. I will say this: it the game basically gives you a blank slate, and you can feel you just feel free to adapt and improve the way you need to be. Some people don't like to jump around. Some people like the vehicles. But if you have certain characters that have great driving stats, you're gonna like being in the vehicles because you're gonna be able to maneuver better. You might have individuals who are really good at explosives. You actually get more orbs if you have a character that's really good at explosives. That's just how that happens. Um, Now I will say this: the difficulty level. I talked about that a little earlier. While playing the game, I honestly didn't find the game to be very difficult. You have a total of 4 difficulty options in total. The default one is actually very easy, and no, I'm not like everybody else to try hard and all that. I don't put the game on the hardest level. I put it on the easy level to start, just because I want to see how the game plays. And then if it's just easy, then I ramp it up because you can kind of tell if a game is hard or not so hard based on how you put it on easy. Um, so I started off on easy. I had fun with it. I was just playing it just to play, to bide my time. I ended up putting it on one level up, putting it on hard, but I didn't put it on legendary because I did do that one time, and my God, I got in trouble with a mini boss, and everybody swarmed it, and it felt like everybody was shooting me at the exact same time. I know this guy can pick up cars, but Jesus Christ, he's not the Incredible Hulk, and bullets don't bounce off him. And I turned into one big bullet sponge and eventually died. it was bad. So I ended up changing it back to the second to lowest setting. And I actually played the game all the way from there, and I enjoyed it. Um, but I don't judge people who play games on easy. It's your game. You bought it or you rented it out or whatever. So do what you want to do. I will say this: the diehard fans for this game would enjoy the difficulty settings. If a game is harder, like I was saying a little earlier before, if you put it on the hard setting, play with another person. It actually makes things much easier. It really does. I normally am a gamer that kind of play games on my own, or I will play certain things online, like certain multiplayer games and stuff like that. But I like to see how good a game is when there's nobody from the internet or Xbox Live or PlayStation Network or PC when I'm able to play on PC involved. I just wanted that's the test of a game to see if it's really good. If it has a good campaign, and I know a lot of games don't have that many good campaigns in them anymore. It's it being everything is leaning toward online and stuff like that. But if I can play it by myself without having to put headphones on to talk to people, that's a good thing. Crackdown is kind of like that, but only problem is you can't really play it for that long. It doesn't have that much replay power, like capabilities. I mean, I guess that's the word I want to use. I can't really play this game a lot after I beat the game. I mean, I tried, but other games come out, so now I'm preoccupied with other games. I mean, I really did. I mean, I haven't uninstalled it because I'm pretty sure when I'm tired of the other game, we do tend to have short attention spans from time to time. I might get back on the game and play it. I might just want to jump around buildings and all that stuff. I mean, that is the fun part of the game. It really is. I might want to shoot rockets. That's a fun part of the game. I might want to pick up a tank, jump to a building, and then throw it from that building, and then jump and shoot rockets. That is a part of the game. Maybe I want to take bombs, these little mines, and all this stuff, and just blow up as much stuff. Maybe I want to just do crack down 3 things. Hmm? Hmm? Maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. But it is a good game to play. If you're a casual player and you're just looking for a game to play, I would suggest trying out the Xbox Game Pass first. Remember, I'm not endorsing this or anything. Xbox Game Pass, they're not paying me. That would be nice, but they're not paying me or anything. But I would say try it out on Xbox Game Pass. Have an open mind, play the game, and just either enjoy it, or if you don't like the game, understand that there's like over 100+ titles on Xbox Game Pass to try out yourself. That's all I gotta say about it. Oh yeah, I will say this. This is something I like too. I'm not done at all. The driving, like I said, I didn't like it. But what I did like about the game, the guns. Oh my God, the guns. One thing about Crackdown, the weapons are always good. You got so many things that make everything go boom. You can shoot guys with regular pistols, or whatever, futuristic pistols or whatever. Or you got pulse beams, which is my personal favorite. I love the pulse beam. I can take down just about anything with that pulse beam, which is in range. It's like a laser shotgun that shoots out a beam, not a beam of light, but a laser beam, and it's very impressive, and it's a pleasure to use. You shoot guys, every enemy, there's no match for this weapon. You can if it within range, it will burn anything up. It makes tanks explode. It makes cars explode. It makes people and individuals and mid boss in the mech suits die in agony and pain, and they blow up. It's so awesome. Woo, woo. Anyway, I'm sorry. The crackdown nerd in me is just ramped up. And let's be honest with you, with those weapons, it's really okay to rely on one weapon for the whole game. Some people might say, well, I like variety. Well, in life, sometimes variety is not the spice of life. Variety is just whack. Sometimes if you get one weapon, then you can do everything with it. You do not have to worry about doing anything else. Oh, excuse me, guys. I got a little cold. But as you go through the game, you go through certain points, and and you need to focus on going in certain directions as well. And what I mean by certain directions, normally I'm gonna be honest with you, the weapons I kind of use the most, I think, one was called the Mass Driver. The Mass Driver is kind of like a shotgun that shot out pieces of the chemical energy source called Chimera. Now think of this shooting out a piece of radioactive bullet, and when it hits the person, it explodes. That's pretty cool, but I didn't use that much. Also, I used the homing rocket a lot. I used to use this thing called the Anubis. The Anubis was like this really weird, funky, um, like pulse rocket bomb that shot out little pulse beam, not pulse beam, but pulse spears, like laser bombs. It was pretty nice. I would use that from time when I was going against a boss and I really need to kill them quick and I was dying. For the most part, I stuck with the pulse beam. And the pulse beam is just, oh, it's so efficient. I really enjoy that game. With that part of the game. Now, let's talk about the part I really didn't like about this game. And for the most, I had things I really liked about the game. Some things I kind of liked with the game. As far as the campaign and everything, and other things I just did not like at all in the campaign. But I'm gonna tell you what I don't like, and it's not because, and it's how can I explain this? The multiplayer, the wrecking zone part of the game, the multiplayer. I didn't like the multiplayer because I feel like Xbox made us wait so long for this. Now the things I will say that I do like about the multiplayer, the wrecking zone, you really are basically doing a death match. Basically like a 5-person to a team, 10-person death match, team death match situation. Let's be honest. There's a lot of destruction that's going on. You start out with great weapons. I normally on the wrecking zone I use the minigun as my primary, and the Anubis cannon. I'll say that as my secondary. You can lock on from people from a long distance, just like from the game. Also, I would say a close second would be the homing rocket, but that's very cheesy. And what happens is when you aim at a person, you basically can kill them with their health. Kill them not with their health. What am I thinking? Oh my god. You can actually kill them with those weapons. You're given characters who have full powers and abilities, so you can actually travel very far. It really gives you the feeling of being like a superhero. Superman, the Hulk, whatever. Is Superman couldn't fly. It could jump really high. But he had great strength. You could punch through buildings, but the buildings don't look really strong. It looks nothing like it looked at the last E3 where they showed the game and they showed the wrecking zone. These buildings were supposed to be destroyed and supposed to be beautiful. The destruction is nice, but it looked like punching through cardboard walls, man. It looked fun because you actually shot a rocket or you punched through a wall. And there was times in the game where I was being attacked and shot on wrecking zone, and the only way I could escape was to actually punch through walls in a building with a dash punch, and that was very fun. Or I had to do a fist stomp into the ground, and I would shoot down the floor too, just to get away from guys. That was fun, but I just feel like, man, it wasn't. What's the word I want to use? Underwhelming, really. Underwhelming was the word I really want to use. I was not really pleased with this. I normally play a couple matches. I win a couple matches. My team will win a couple matches, or we'll lose matches. And I wasn't happy to win, and I wasn't mad that I lost. And that's not a good sign when you play games. When you don't have a proper emotional response to a game that you play, it's not a good sign. And for that, multiplayer was, man, it really wasn't it. It's actually a game they could have really scrapped that and worked more on the campaign. I feel like the money and the resources they put toward the multiplayer really should have been put toward the game. I think honestly, if they would have put more toward the game, you would have had better cutscenes. You would have had a better story. You would have had more variety in the game. But it seemed to me like they had two individual groups within the gaming studio that work with Xbox. I can't even think of their name right now, and that's a problem too because I don't really want to know about their name because they didn't do as good as they should. Um, they just didn't. They didn't do enough. Much was left to be desired. Hopefully they should add more maps to the game. Maybe they will improve it with updates, which is possible. Anything is possible if enough people buy the game, or enough people are playing it. There may be a chance. But as in conclusion, overall, Crackdown 3 is a decent package with a lot of interesting ideas. I think the ideas were kind of not fulfilled to completely. I think the story is not extraordinary, um, and the multiplayer needs quite a bit of work. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to rage out. I'm just being honest. Uh, I'm hopeful that they could do something, or I'm hopeful that Xbox could really do something else with another project. Maybe they'll get another chance at it. But it does need a lot of work to be more appealing. But for the most part, Crackdown 3, where it actually shines it shines with its gameplay, its gun variety, its boss, and its really unique progress system. Um, but with that being said, it's really unfortunate that the multiplayer has no progress system, and it really limits your appeal to the time you actually will spend with the game. Now that being said, it's still quite a bit of fun, simplified fun, not really high gameplay fun, but you should check it out. I suggest again check it out through the Xbox Game Pass. That way you won't feel like you cheated yourself because you spent over $60 for the game. Or when the game prices go down and you want to buy the game outright, definitely do it then. I follow some other YouTubers and they have a really great system of rating games not based on numbers. They just rate it on whether you should buy it now, wait till the price to go down, buy it later, or don't buy it all, or just play. If somebody gifts it to you, then check it out. This would be one of those games that you would buy later. Wait till the price go down, or get it on Xbox Game Pass. Don't spend your full money on this. I'm not saying it's not because it's the worst game. It's because it's the most meh game. And with that, this is AntKnowsWebl. I hope you guys enjoyed this game review. I still got a little more gameplay I want you guys to check out. But please leave your comments. Please like. Please subscribe to the channel. We're going to have much more content. And man, guys, just have a great day. And take care of yourself. And keep gaming on 24/7. I'm out.